Trip to the Moon, a 1902 film by Georges Méliès. Why do I recommend this movie to you? Why? Why do I recommend you that you watch this great masterpiece of the cinema history? First, because it will introduce you to the very first special effects in history. Second, because it was one of the first science fiction movies in the history of the cinema. Méliès is the founding father of special effects. And third, it's a necessary step. It's a necessary step if you want to become a true cinephile. You cannot miss the timeless masterpiece of history, A Trip to the Moon, a movie that broke those daily rules imposed by the Lumière brothers, who saw cinema solely as a tool, and nothing more, just something technical. In fact, every life was portrayed, but Méliès wants to create his own world, a fantastic world. I also take this opportunity to mention the very first short movie by the Lumière brothers, the arrival of a train at the station. A single shot, a train that was arriving. The audience saw that image for the first time and was scared by to the death. Oh my god, the train is coming right at me. The staging in A Trip of the Moon resembled a theatrical farce, but one where scenography changed every few dozen seconds, creating a playful, frenetic rhythm for the era, much like the style of a cheerful ballet. The scenes lacking any sound commentary were difficult to understand. Imagine how they seem now. However, the audience back then had several advantages, including the figure of the barker or showman, a narrator physically present in the theater who explained the scenes and the meaning of the story to the audience. Hugo, a 2011 film, is directed by an avant-garde director like Martin Scorsese. It's perhaps the most representative movie about the character of Méliès and the wonder of the cinema. The young protagonist in the movie finds himself meeting an eccentric inventor reduced to running a toys kiosk at a Paris train station. That man is none other than Méliès himself, the man who transformed the cinematograph into cinema. Just think, Méliès often colored the frames of his movies, and he was the first to realize the power of color on the audience's eyes, charging more, not surprisingly, for hand-painted films. Action! Méliès anticipated many innovative techniques and visual tricks to enrich his own language as a storyteller. For example, in one of his films, there is a magician who transforms a woman covered by a cloth into a skeleton. The illusion is created by the fact that Méliès, during the filming, stopped the camera and then replaced the lady with the skeleton. Legendary. Furthermore, Méliès anticipated film editing. He was one of the first to understand that the editing played a key role in alternating scenes, which back then could consist mainly of a single shot.
Magic tricks and illusion became my speciality. The world of imagination.
These ideas were born from a mistake when his camera broke. After turning it back on the scene, the result, he noticed that a tram had transformed into a hearse and the people had changed place. From that moment on, he understood how to transform things and realized he could play with special effects.
My life was taught me happy endings only happen in the movies.
The story's not over yet.
Let's remember that during this period, most of the audience went to the cinema mainly for the spectacle, the special effects, the cinema of the attractions. In fact, A Trip of the Moon is divided into 70 macro sequences that represent the narrative component of the story. Story is in quotation marks because the audience, and Méliès knew this, focused their efforts more on spectacularity or on documentary side like the Lumière brothers. and the production cost for that time was huge. This money was spent mainly on the costumes and the richness of the scenography, which was truly incredible if you think about it.